So you want to make $100,000 in revenue for your agency during AEP alone with AEP business. Well, it's possible. Doesn't mean that it's easy, but I'm going to give you the blueprint step by step on how you can do this. I have personally done this myself as an agent. And of course, our agency knocks this out of the park on a routine basis in much larger multiples. But let's kind of talk about this, how you can do this as an individual agent, okay? So how can you reach $100,000 in revenue during AEP, okay? So we're just going to jump right in. Step number one is do the math, okay? How many apps do you need? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. How can you really reach a target if you do not know how many apps you're going to need to get there, right? So you have to first kind of figure that out. Now, if you're basing it off of renewal commission, everything like that, you might find that app count is pretty high. You know, it's over 300, maybe 350, 400, depending on kind of where your market is. But let's say you're doing things in an efficient manner. What I mean by this is, on your Medicare Advantage applications, you are doing your health risk assessments. And, you know, opposed to popular belief, with the final rule being put on hold, most carriers, a large portion of carriers, are still doing paid health risk assessments during this AEP, okay? So you're doing your HRAs, you're doing your health risk assessments, okay? And you're doing them on every single app that you possibly can. That adds, depending on the carrier, an extra $50, an extra $60, an extra $70 on top of your commission. Some of the apps you're going to be writing might be new to Medicare, right? So you're going to have some true ups in there. That can kind of bring your average commission up. And then, of course, if you're cross-selling, right? This is not going to be specifically a cross-selling video for lack of time, but if you're cross-selling, and even if you're just taking the approach that I'm going to bring up, let's say, a hospital indemnity plan on every single Medicare Advantage presentation I do. Let's say you're going to take the approach, I'm going to bring up selling a dental plan on every presentation that I do. If you are just cross-selling and bringing it up on every single appointment and you're doing it badly, you can probably get 2 out of 10 of your applications to actually bite on those. So let's just say you're working with, if you're doing these things that I'm talking about, let's say you're working with an average first-year commission, or annual commission, I should say, of $400 per app, okay? That's what you're dealing with. Well, if in that circumstance you need 250 apps in order to hit your goal, okay? If you're in areas like California or Jersey, you don't need quite that much because their commissions are a little bit higher than they are the rest of the nation, okay? But let's just say you're dealing with the rest of the nation, you need 250 apps, okay? So we've identified our target. We know exactly the number of applications you have to get to in order to reach your goal. So now what? So you need those 250 apps, but how are you going to get them? Well, the answer is you're going to need an appropriate amount of leads. Okay, remember, everything is a math equation. So you need the appropriate amount of leads. What is your closing percentage on average of leads? Have you ever tracked this before? Let's just say your closing percentage of leads is 20%. And of course, you know, a lot of lead types, they might be less than that, right? Like a typical internet lead. Maybe if you're working a very, you know, low intent Facebook lead, they might be closer to 10% or 15% or something like that. Of course, it also depends on the agent, right? People always ask me on a routine basis, what's my closing percentage on this? What should I be closing on this? And it really comes down to, it all depends on the person that's working the leads, right? I've known the same lead source where an agent can close 30%, and with that same lead source, another agent might close 2% because the difference in abilities is like, right? So, but let's just say you're dealing with an average lead closing percentage of 20%. Now, your lead type is going to depend also on your closing percentage in terms of the quality of the lead. I'm going to kind of circle back with that in a moment here, okay? But if you're dealing with 250 app goal and you have a closing percentage of 20%, now I'm not talking about referrals or anything like that, although referrals are going to play a part in this. We're going to kind of come back to that in a moment here, but I'm not talking about closing 20% of your referrals. Every time I talk about leads and closing percentage of leads, there's always those agents that come through that write about 15, 25 apps a year that they're like, I work nothing but referrals. I have a 99% closing ratio. Good for you. Everybody does on referrals. Okay. But referrals alone, unless you have an unbelievable source of where you're getting these referrals from, will not get you to this goal. So you're going to need other types of lead flow. Okay. So if you're dealing with those numbers, right, your goal is 250 apps. Let's just hypothetically say your closing percentage is 20%. Okay. In that scenario, you need about 1,250 leads. Okay. We're just doing the math equation. This helps you kind of get to your goal as quickly as possible. Okay. And if closing percentages are higher, like I said, you need less leads. Okay. It's all a math equation. It's all a math equation. Okay. So the next question is, where are you getting your leads from? And if you really want to hit a goal like this, it probably, for the most part, unless you have an incredibly sophisticated process of where you're getting your leads from, most agents do not, you do need probably a diversity of sources of where you're getting your leads from. Now let's talk about Lead Heroes preset appointments. I believe this is probably something that should be in a lot of people's bag going into AEP, right? Lead Heroes preset appointments are an unbelievable source for how you can get a really high intent pre-scheduled appointment that already has a scope of appointment verbally captured. Okay, this is vitally important. Okay, so the biggest problem during AEP, since the 48-hour scope of appointment came back for a lot of agents, is that they have to do these two-step appointments, right? They have a call with somebody, maybe it goes really well, but they can't get into specifics on the first call due to compliance rules. They get a scope of appointment, they schedule another call 48 hours out to get back with this person to be compliant, and then the person doesn't answer the phone. The person blows them off. The person's intent went from here, and then 48 hours later, it cooled down, and then it was down to here, and they just really don't care to talk to you anymore, right? And that happens a lot. That happens a lot with people. So what you get with Lead Heroes pre-scheduled scope of appointments is Lead Heroes has already captured that scope of appointment verbally and scheduled it on your calendar 48 hours out. So if the appointment goes well, if the call goes well, and of course you can do these telephonic, you can do these face-to-face, then you could theoretically do a one-call close in that scenario because the scope is already taken care of. Okay, so that's a great, incredible lead source, and I don't know any other quite like it. Okay, now I've traveled all over the country this year, going to events, speaking at events, things like that. And every event I went to, people came up to me that ordered Lead Heroes preset appointments last AEP, and they were like, I did phenomenal. I closed 30%, 40%. One guy even told me he closed 45 to 50% of his pre-scheduled appointments last AEP. So there are people out there that are closing very high percentages of these Lead Heroes pre-scheduled appointments. My wife, who isn't even really a full-time agent, she's not really even an agent anymore. She's kind of just really embraced kind of being a stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, but she's closed about 40% of hers during AEP last year for our agency. Okay, so Lead Heroes pre-scheduled appointments, I consider them a miracle drug for a lot of agents. You can find information about those, by the way, down in the link, down in the description of this video. Order some because probably by October 1st, they're going to be completely sold out and full and you won't be able to get any throughout AEP, okay? So, but that's a lead type that you can look at, right? It's a very good lead type. It makes things easier for you. The scope of appointment is already captured. Lead Heroes pre-scheduled appointments. What are some other things you can be looking at doing? Seminars, right? You can do all different types of seminars. You can do dinner seminars where you're buying dinner for the individuals. You can do library seminars where, they're lower budget. Maybe you can get a free room in a library, or maybe you can pay a little bit of money, maybe pay $100 for a room in a library or a senior center or something like that, where they're lower budget. You're not providing food. It's just maybe a little bit, cheaper to put on. Now you'll have more people that show up to the dinner seminars, but you do have some people that show up that are plate lickers. Whereas, the educational library seminars, you might have a little bit less people show up because the plate lickers aren't there, but everybody that's there wants to know the information. Both can be really good. We've had very good success with both. But seminars can be great because then you can meet with a lot of people all at one time. You can meet with 20 people, 25 people, 30 people, 35 people, 40 people, 45 people, depending on how big your space and your venue is and how hard you're marketing it. You can present to a large range of people all at the same time. Imagine if you could close 20% of the room. Let's say you had 40 people show up at a seminar. You're doing one presentation and getting your message out to the masses, right? That is high efficiency. That's another reason why seminars are so great. High efficiency with seminars, okay? Let's say you could close 20% of the room, right? Let's say you could close 20% of the room. In that scenario, you're walking away with 8 apps. Of course, you can't write them there on the spot compliantly on the seminar. You have to, essentially get their permission to contact forms from them and if they're willing to provide them to you, and then follow up with them later. But let's say you could get 8 to 10 apps out of that seminar. That's high efficiency. high efficiency seminars are a great thing to have included in your marketing attack, okay? What about fairs, expos, swap meets, things like that where you can sit at booths, sit at tables, maybe on weekends, maybe on a Saturday, maybe in the evening. Not saying you should do this all day long or anything like that, but they can be good things to get in front of people, right? To hit your target during AEP, you need to understand that it's an exposure game. It's getting in front of enough people and sharing your message often enough to where enough people want to enroll with you. It's all a numbers game. 100%, it's all a numbers game. What referral partners do you have? What referral partners have you built throughout the year? Hopefully you've actually laid the groundwork to actually build some referral partners if you don't have some already. CPAs, financial planners, other insurance agents of other types, right? P&C agents, dentist offices, doctor's offices, et cetera, right? Elder law attorneys, people like that. All of your referral partners need to be put on notice that it's open enrollment. Maybe even see if some of them are willing to send out a letter to their clients. Maybe you pay the cost of it for them to just inform them that, you are their Medicare representative that they recommend. It's open enrollment, and they can help connect you to you, right? We've done this before with other referral partners, and it's been very, very effective, right? So put all your referral partners on notice. Have conversations with them. See what ways you can work together to essentially capture as much of their clientele in their Medicare audience as possible. Pay them a referral fee if they're licensed, right? It's compliant. You can do it. We pay a $100 referral fee if anybody has a license, an insurance license. And that's been very, very effective for us. Some people say you shouldn't pay a referral fee. I don't know anybody that says that gets more referrals than us, though. So, I don't know. We don't pay a referral fee to clients, of course, although it is compliant for you to do so, but it's limited to what you can pay over the course of an entire year. It's just a little bit of a more complex thing. But to other agents, we do pay a referral fee, and it's been very good for us. We get a ton of referrals. We get more referrals as an agency than most agents and agencies probably write in a year. So put your referral partners on notice and incentivize them. Give something in it for them. And some people don't care about the referral fee. Some people care that you just do a good job for their client. You make them look good. You actually protect the business that they've written, right? Whether it's a financial planner, you send them back to them for the business that they have on the books. So, but put your referral partners on notice. Now is the time to be doing that for AEP. Okay. Can you get leads from your carriers? Have you talked to your carrier reps, your regional carrier reps? Are they willing to pass some leads on to you that they have coming in? Because you better believe it, that all carriers have a litany of leads that come to them, and they will, in some situations with some carriers, not all the time, assign them to independent brokers in their market. If you can essentially promise them that as long as it's what's good for the client, right? You never want to do something that's not good for the client, but as long as it's something that's good for the client and all things are equal, that you'll do everything you can to push business to that carrier and kind of reward them for sending leads to you. Have those conversations with your carrier reps, and those things can help significantly. And those types of leads, believe me, can be really, really high intent. We've done very well with those over the years when we do have the opportunity to work with carriers on those internal carrier leads, okay? Facebook ads. Are you running Facebook ads? If you haven't taken the time to learn how to do it, are you working with somebody who can do it for you? Are you buying Facebook leads? They can be a situation where you can get a lot of leads at bulk in volume. And if you need over 1,200 leads, you need bulk, you need volume, you need a lot of people that you're talking to. The last thing you need to know when it comes to making 100K during AEP is it's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard work. It's going to require you to spend money of your own, right? People always ask me when I talk about these kind of things, they're like, can I do this without spending money? The short answer is no. No, you cannot. I don't know anybody that's doing this type of volume during AEP that's not spending a good amount of money at the very minimum, and a lot of them are spending a significant amount of money in order to get the lead flow possible, right? So number one, you have to work hard. You have to work your butt off, okay? It's 7.5 weeks of grind, okay? You have to work your butt off. You have to run as many appointments as you possibly can if you want to hit this goal. If your whole thing is, I want to be with my family on Saturdays, I want to be with my family on weekends, I want to be with my family on the evenings, I don't want to work that hard, then this isn't for you. You should click off this video right now. This video is for the people that want to make six figures during AEP, okay? And then in addition to that, if you do have a family, if you do have loved ones, and this is a goal you're set on, you need to have the talk with your loved ones, with your spouse, with your children, anybody else that might be a loved one of yours, and just explain to them, over the next 7.5 weeks, over the next 2 months or so, this is something I need to do. I need to do it for our family. I need to do it for the business. And I have an opportunity here to really grow unlike any other time of the year. It's not permanent. It's not forever. I do really need your support as my loved ones, as my family. But having that conversation and getting everybody on the same page is crucial. It's a mistake that most people do make where they don't get their spouse on the same page and then their spouse is criticizing them all the time because they're working so hard. Okay. Some people say you shouldn't work that hard. If you're trying to make 100K during AEP and you're doing it on your own and you're a single agent, you have to work that hard. I'm sorry to say, hard work is required. Disclaimer. And then of course, right, you do have to make a significant investment, right? So if you have savings, you might need to dump a lot of it on AEP. If you don't have savings, if you don't have any money, you probably can't do this. You have to be able to spend the appropriate amount of money on your business and on your marketing efforts and on your lead efforts during AEP to make this happen. However, while this is not easy, while not everyone is going to be able to do this, the few people that watch this video that actually take these instructions step by step and execute on them will see that they're able to make this work. By doing the math, playing the numbers game, having a sufficient lead flow, cross-selling, doing their HRAs, everything like that, and making sure that they're putting in the time and they're working hard, you will see that you can grow your business significantly. For some of you that maybe only have 200 clients or 250 clients or 150 clients, you can double or triple your business as revenue in 7.5 weeks. There's no other time of the year that you can do that in our space for the most part. And you can do it if you follow this instruction step by step. Again, guys, Lead Heroes preset appointments, in my opinion, should be a part of your marketing attack during AEP. They will probably be all sold out by 10/1. So if you do have a desire to get some Lead Heroes preset appointments and add them into your mixture with the scope of appointment captured verbally ahead of time, 48 hours and scheduled on your calendar, comment down below and also check the link out below. In the description of this video, it's going to be the first link and you'll find information on the Lead Heroes preset appointments, okay? Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, I need your help. I need you to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. It's going to help more agents just like you who are struggling, who need to find this information. They're not getting it from their upline. They're not getting it from their FMO. They're just lost. You can help them find this information and do better and turn their career around by liking this video. Comment your thoughts down below, right? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What do you think of this strategy? I'd love to have a dialogue with you about it. Subscribe if you like this type of content. We're going to put out regular videos on a weekly basis, just like this, that will help you grow your business going forward. And again, everybody, thanks so much for watching. Wishing you the best of luck during AEP. Wish you success. And we'll see you next time. Here's to your success and your abundance. Thanks, everybody.